When you hear the words private island, you probably immediately think of an exotic resort where you can escape and relax from the hustle and bustle of your daily life. But did you know that there are some private islands that you can own, but probably wouldn't, for a ridiculously cheap price? These islands are not your typical sunny resorts. They have tragic histories and have housed everything from asylums to prisons. But they all have one thing in common: no one wants to own these islands for even the cheapest price tag. If you're curious about what less than $1,000 can get you in terms of an island, you've come to the right place. These spots might not be Bora Bora or Santorini, but they're surrounded by water, and that's got to count for something, right? Stay with me as we walk through a list of islands that no one wants for even $1. Number 10. Ilha de Queimada Grande, Brazil. With a name like that, it's not hard to see why locals refer to this island as Snake Island. But an easier pronunciation is not the only reason why this island goes by the moniker. Snake Island is home to some of the most venomous snakes in the world. If you are excited about that sort of thing, you'd be interested to know that the entire island is home to the golden lancehead, a pit viper that can grow 18 inches long. This snake can kill a person with just one bite, and living on this island is a sure way to die from snake venom. These conditions have made the state of Sao Paulo label the place illegal to visit. You might be thinking, I could just buy the island and then get rid of all the snakes, but you can't. The snakes are endangered and under protection by the state, so you can't kill them off. We could very well say that these snakes own the island. Number 9. Pavia, Italy. Located in the Mediterranean off the coast of Italy, Pavia lies close to the city of Venice and spans 72,000 meters. But the island has some creepy aspects to it that have put many buyers and visitors off. The island includes an abandoned hospital, a 12th century bell tower, and an abandoned asylum. Abandoned buildings don't sound too bad, right? Well, that's not all. Pavia holds its reputation as the most haunted place on Earth, and many say it's been haunted from as far back as the Middle Ages. During the Middle Ages, victims of the plague were hidden away from the general public on this island. And then years later, a mental asylum was established. It's said that a lot of the procedures performed on this island were unethical and so questionable that one doctor took his life by jumping off the bell tower. Since 1968, the island has been abandoned, with multiple owners claiming supernatural encounters. Number 8. Little St. James Island, USA. Believe it or not, this island used to be something back in its glory days. Celebrities and high-profile people such as Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew have used this island for recreational purposes. Today, however, the island is up for sale with a low chance of anyone ever actually purchasing it. Why? It was once owned by Jeffrey Epstein, the billionaire with a chaotic and disturbing history. It's said that Jeffrey Epstein and his rich friends used the island for some of their disturbing pleasures, and no one wants to go there today because of its tarnished reputation. Number 7. Isola Laola, Italy. This island is located in the Bay of Naples and dates as far back as the time of the ancient Romans. The island is suited in a beautiful area, offers beautiful views, and is close enough to the shore that you can swim there. So why does no one want to buy this island? Superstition is the simple answer. People say that the island is cursed, and some of the stories about the previous owners would have you shaken to the core. One owner's body was found wrapped up and abandoned, and his wife passed shortly after his mysterious demise. Another owner suffered a heart attack right after buying the island. It doesn't end there. The next owner lost his mind shortly after buying the island, and he suffered the same end as the buyer right after him: suicide. Another owner died from a rare disease, another went bankrupt, another's son got kidnapped, and the list of tragedies continues. You would say that these are too many coincidences for even a skeptic, huh? Number 6. Fort Carroll, USA. Located on the Patapsco River in Maryland, Fort Carroll is an abandoned fort that dates back to the American Civil War. In 1921, the fort was abandoned and was later bought in 1958 for gambling purposes, until a court ruled that gambling was prohibited on the island. For the price tag, buyers would need to reform the abandoned fort into a more presentable building. Many have offered to buy the island and renovate the building into a hotel or even a jail, but their plans are often thwarted by one difficulty or the other. The island is also a conservation site for birds, and certain kinds of construction are not allowed there as it could scare off the birds. Number 5. Buku Islands, Brazil. Located off the coast of the San Francisco River, Buku Islands is made up of 6 separate islands, and each is home to wildlife and offers amazing views. You might wonder why the asking price for all 6 islands is at a low $79,500, and the reason is, no one would pay this amount or even anything less than this amount to own these islands. The first problem with the island is that paying any amount of money doesn't earn you ownership of the island. Rather, you're simply buying the rights to use the island for 99 years. 99 years sounds like a long time, but you can't pass this island to anyone in case of death, and you also make no money off the islands. What's more, you'd best own a helicopter or a boat to get around on these islands because there are no other means of transportation to and from the islands. Number 4. Little Rocky Island, Canada. A first look at this 8-acre island will have you wondering why no one would buy it for $74,500. The picturesque location is blessed with white sandy beaches and beautiful animals, in addition to pine trees which provide shelter from direct sunlight, hurricanes, and tornadoes. The island is also devoid of any buildings, so to live here you'd have to construct your own house. You might still be wondering why an island with so many seeming benefits is still cheap and unoccupied? Well, the answer is Canada. The Canadian market is so riddled with islands that there are more private islands than buyers. We can bet that if this island were to be in another location, it would be swooped right off the market. Number 3. Sheep Lake Islands, Canada. Many people want to own an island for the privacy it offers, but this island doesn't quite tick that box. Although beautiful and peaceful, this island does not offer much privacy and is in fact very close to a fishing village. Such proximity to a fishing village can only mean that the island would see a ton of visitors often. And since we already mentioned how Canada has a high island-to-buyers ratio, it doesn't come as much of a surprise that the island has not been grabbed for its asking price of $50,000. Number 2. Chandler Island, USA. Chandler Island does pretty well in terms of size and scenery, and its asking price is reasonable enough for the not-so-rich to afford. So why is no one hopping on the chance to own an island? The first reason is that anyone buying the island would first need to build a home of some kind, as the island only has a small log cabin. Also, the island often deals with high tide, where the island is half drowned in water. Not the most ideal circumstances for anybody, is it? Number 1. Gibbon Island, Canada. For the asking price of $29,000, you would expect people queuing to own this island, wouldn't you? This island is located on the St. Johns River in New Brunswick, Canada, and sadly, its disadvantages far outweigh its advantages. The island is hardly habitable as it's prone to flooding. Every year, the island is completely covered in floods, making it less than an ideal summer destination. Since it's so prone to flooding, you can't risk building on the island, as your property would most likely be destroyed. If you want to spend some time on the island, you can simply pitch a tent for a few nights without actually buying the island. And there you have it, guys. The ball is now in your court on which of these islands you'd consider slapping your name on. Let me know which islands you would consider living on in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.